In the early 2000s, Alan is a business coach trying to navigate a corporate culture that prizes the hard sell. He enters every meeting believing he has to be the smartest person in the room, convinced that influence is something you impose on others through sheer force of will. He has spent months intensely studying the mechanics of persuasion. His desk is a graveyard of sales manuals and scripts. He practiced the aggressive, pointing posture and unwavering eye contact of the high-stakes closer, trying to turn himself into a machine that produces yes. But the results tell a different story. He hasn't closed a single sale. Despite following the rulebooks and mastering the frameworks, the tools he was told would make him successful are failing him. This reliance on expertise creates a barrier. By treating every interaction as a battle to be won with the right answer, he is inadvertently signaling that his agenda matters more than the person sitting across from him. Before his next prospect meeting, Alan sits in his car, looking at an oversized presentation folder on the passenger seat. It's packed with every pitch and closing technique he's been taught, a physical weight that has yet to yield a single contract. He picks it up, hesitates, and sets it back down. He carries the folder into the office, but he has decided he will not open it. He is going in without a script. This is a surrender born of exhaustion. He is stepping into the room without the armor he once thought was his only protection. The office is a study in corporate neutrality, functional, flat, and dominated by a large desk that dictates the distance between the two men. There is no stage here, and nowhere for Alan to perform. Alan sits down and places the closed folder on the corner of the desk. He doesn't open it. He lays his hands flat on the table, offers no pitch, and simply waits. The prospect, a man in his 50s, begins to fill the silence. He talks about the weather and fishing. Alan stays still, offering no agenda. He simply listens, his hands unmoving, giving the other man the full weight of his attention. This is a shift in internal posture. Alan is moving away from the need to project his own intelligence, becoming a mirror for the man across from him. As the conversation wanders, the prospect eventually circles back to his business. He mentions a problem with his collections process, specific pain point he's been carrying, and then keeps talking. The silence changes the weight of the conversation. When there is no sales pitch to resist, the prospect stops being a target and begins to negotiate with himself. 2 hours pass. Alan hasn't made a single suggestion or offered a single solution. He hasn't even touched the folder. He holds the space with a discipline he didn't know he had. He offers small sounds of acknowledgement, but he never reaches for a solution, even as the prospect describes his frustrations in detail. The prospect begins to lean forward, using his hands to explain the situation. He is using Alan as a sounding board, talking through his own problems simply so he can hear how they sound out loud. Eventually, the man runs out of words. He looks at the corner of the desk, finally noticing the presentation folder that has remained closed for the entire meeting. He looks at Alan and asks, "Well, you seem like a nice fellow. What are you offering there?" By simply holding the space, Alan has allowed the prospect to arrive at the solution on his own terms. He didn't have to diagnose the problem. The prospect did it for him. Alan's response is minimal. He states the price and the logistics of the weekly meetings. He offers no embellishment and no justifications. Then he goes quiet again. He doesn't use the closing tactics he spent months memorizing. He doesn't ask for the sale. He just waits. The agreement is immediate and frictionless. The prospect tells Alan to bring the paperwork the next day. The deal is done. Stripping away the effort removed the resistance. Without the pressure of a pitch, the prospect was free to make his own choice. Alan walks out into the parking lot and stops beside his car. The folder is still tucked under his arm, its contents unused. The cold industrial air of the office fades. The tension he's been carrying for months seems to loosen, and the quality of the light around him noticeably changes. It strikes him how much of his previous effort had actually been an obstacle. By simply stepping out of his own way, he had finally found the success he had been trying to force. He had no idea how easy it was to do nothing and be successful.
he finally learned, it's always all about them.